I can't do it. We'll do it live. Okay. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
This is Snowman in the Morning, and it begins now.
What? Down!
Hi, howdy, hello, how are you? How do you do? How are you doing? How's it going? What's going on? What's new? What do you think? What do you hear? What do you say? What do you feel? What's shaking? What's happening? K-Pasa, what's going down? What it is?
Next! Good morning, everybody! Snowman in the Morning is back. And we are presented by Full Armor Worldwide and by Cleaver Supplements. I'm sorry I've been away for a while. Had to deal with some equipment issues, had to deal with some other issues, but I'm back. Rebuilding the website, snowmaninthemorning.com. That'll come out in 1 week's time. In the meantime, you can listen to us live on not just Arena Sports Net, but also on the Notoriety Sports Network, also 3andoutradio.com, radioafs.com. You can hear the replay there at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And got Arena Sportsnet, Radio AFS, 3 and Out Radio, and Notoriety Sports Network. There, got them all. Want to thank everybody in charge of those networks, Trey Side with 3 and Out Radio, Jacob and Company over at Radio AFS. They got some great shows there, including Stay Out of My Crease, which you can hear on Arena Sportsnet Wednesday nights. Morning Cup of Sports, which is in front of this one on Radio AFS. The folks at 3 and Out Radio got some great shows there, including Just Shaggy, The Sports Report with LaDonna Samani, I think that's her last name. If I got it wrong, forgive me. But just thanks to the folks that believe in what a snowman's doing and how I'm doing it. You're probably wondering where the hell I've been. Well, I had a lot of stuff happen in the past few weeks. Little man suffered a broken leg. Austin's recovering from that. And I had some computer issues, lots of it. So after doing a lot of thinking and my pretty lady getting in my head telling me, why don't you just start from scratch, start over, do it again. So I did. So I decided to start all over again and keep things as simple as possible from the setup to the execution. I know I usually have guests on the show. I'm going to build that back up. I want to build the fan base back up. And you can catch me on TuneIn, Stitcher, and Audio Boom, as well as Spreaker. But I want to build everything from scratch again, which is why I'm doing it this way. And the reason I'm doing it this way, I had so many moving parts. And I didn't know how many moving parts I had until I took a look at everything, until I realized this is getting out of control. Now, when I was rolling along in 2015 and I had some people that were helping to produce the show, bringing guests on and things like that, everything was good. Then I let some people get in my head and get in the way. My fault, period. I made some decisions that, that cost me. Period. I know that. I understand that. And I don't mind. Why? Because I've come out better. I've come out stronger. And I'm ready to rebuild this thing. And we are rebuilding it from step one. Only going to go for an hour. Make sure we get content out every day on our Stitcher channel, our YouTube channel, everything. But I had to do it this way. Again, I had so many moving parts. Dealing with death in the family, dealing with people that didn't want to see me succeed, dealing with a butthurt brigade that won't leave me the bloody blank alone. So I'm getting even with all of them. I've been homeless. I struggle with homelessness. I've struggled with finances. I'm still struggling with finances, which is why I hope you all enjoy the show, and you can hit that donate button that's on the right side of the screen on the website. I had to get my head back together. Simply put, I couldn't talk sports if I wasn't in the right place, and I wasn't in the right place. I was in a horrible place. Period. I was in a horrible place, and I admit that. Man, there were so many things going on, I couldn't even I couldn't even describe any of it. I've also changed locations. And I'm not telling anybody where yet. All right? But I got a chance to rebuild from within, and I'm taking it. And I'm going to rebuild from within. And if people don't like the way I handle this, then oh well, that's on them. I really don't care anymore. For once, I'm back to the point where I can rebuild for myself and for my family. And if anybody doesn't like the way this plan is executed, then oh well, I've got nothing against you, but I've got nothing for you either. I got sick and tired of having to stop and start and stop and start and stop and start. And yeah, a lot of this is my fault because I wasn't consistent with the show. I wasn't consistent with putting out content. I wasn't even consistent with the blog that I had going. That's going to change. All that is going to change. And I'm not starting at the top of the new year. I'm not starting at it's basically a new month. But I'm not waiting till the new year to start over again. I'm not waiting for anything. I hit rock bottom. Personally, professionally, and everywhere else. It got to the point, and I explained this on the blog, and y'all will see this later. It got to the point where I spent 5 days in the hospital when my depression was out of control. Because someone had the unmitigated gall to say to me that they know what it's like to hit rock bottom. When I heard those two words, I went off. And I'm not going to repeat anything that I said here. I'm just letting you guys know where I stand right now, where I am right now, what I'm doing, how I'm going to do it, when I'm going to do it, what steps I'm going to take in doing it, how it's going to get done, the people that are going to be with me, and I just ask the fans, stay with me. I'm going to do sports talk the way it's supposed to be done. With honesty, with integrity, giving my full opinion, having facts to back it up, and just keeping true to who I am. I had so many identities, it's not even funny. I did. And I admit that because there's so many people giving me ideas of how they would handle my situation. If you haven't been in a person's situation, don't tell them how they can handle it. You can offer advice, and I accept that. You can offer advice to them. You can offer them an example of how they would handle it. But until you walk in their shoes for even if only half a day, you can't tell anything to them about how they can handle their situation and make it better. And I'm speaking specifically to the men too. Man, listen, man. Don't let anyone tell you how you should handle your situation. You know your situation best. You know what you need. You know what you have to get. You know where you need to go. And you know what you want to do to get there. It's up to you to take the right pieces of advice and come up with the correct plan for your reload. And after 5.5 months, I think I finally got the right pieces in place for a full retool, for a full reload, and for a new beginning for this show and anything and anyone that wants me in their life, in their workplace, in any kind of square that they want to put me in. Anybody that doesn't, I don't need them. Beg your pardon. And I don't want them. Anybody that hasn't been with me through all the struggles that I've been through the past 2.5 years, almost 3, since I lost my daughter, the first time to an adoption, so basically 4 years. If you weren't there before, you are not going to be here now when everything takes off. That's my opening statement for this morning. Pause for a break. When we come back, I got some more thoughts, and this is probably Well, you know what? I had one subject in mind, decided to flip it and stay true to what this show is all about. The Snowman is back. So is Snowman in the morning. Back in the deuce.
Hey y'all, Snowman here. Y'all have heard me talk about my weight problems so many times, and I've been battling the bulge for the better part of 10 years. But now I finally got some help. Cleaver Supplements has written to the rescue with their great and natural products and their great apparel for when I go work out, when I go walking, when I go lifting weights, or whatever. Cleaver Supplements is the place to go. Visit Cleaver, K-L-I-E-W-E-R, supplements.com and get your supply today. And tell them Snowman sent you.
Unforgettables. Nice. This show is sponsored by Unforgettables. Unforgettables creates detailed hand-painted baseballs for every baseball fan. Check them out at unforgettables.com. Carolina Security Consultants is your residential security consultants leader. Our security assessment is custom tailored for each project. Give Danny a call, 336-312-5326. Make sure to tell them 3 and Out sent you.
He's too handsome. He's too handsome for Hollywood. He's too sexy. He's too sexy for his own good. This is the King of Connecticut, Matt Granahan, host of The King's Court, telling you to go to the Amazon Kindle store and pick up a copy of my new book, Too Handsome for Hollywood. The world according to the suntan Superman. With the foreword by the UFC Hall of Famer, Dan the Beast Severn. He's too handsome. He's too handsome for Hollywood. He's too sexy. He's too sexy for his own good. Yeah. $9.99. Pick it up today. Too Handsome for Hollywood. The Amazon Kindle store. You'll be glad you did.
This is Snowman in the Morning, where true sports talk lives.
Next!
What? Are you kidding me? Need a little excitement?
You know what? That makes me mad.
Snowman in the morning is indeed back. And it has been a while. And I want to thank y'all for tuning in. The folks on Radio AFS, the folks on Notoriety TV, Notoriety Sports Network. I got it wrong. I figured I would. And the folks on Arena Sportsnet and 3 and Out Radio Network. I thank you. There is too much cotton picking football. Sunday night games, Thursday night games, and the full slate on Sunday, then some Saturday. Can we just get it back to where most of the games were on Sunday and then one on Monday night? Because this Thursday night NFL football package sucks ass. It sucks ass. And I'm echoing a feeling that a lot of people have said since the Thursday night package came into full-blown view. If you have one game that you wanted to put on a Thursday night just to draw some more fans, I can understand that. I know it's all about money. But for some reason, the short travel, the only Thursday games I remember growing up were on Thanksgiving. And the Thanksgiving Day games, you already knew who the home teams were. One of them was the Dallas Cowboys. The other was the Detroit Lions. You don't get that anymore. Now everybody has to have a shot at Thursday night. I'm sorry, but since I somewhat started paying attention to the Thursday night games, and I hate saying this the way I'm going to say it, For the most part, they've sucked. They picked the worst. They pick the worst games and feature them. Same with Sunday Night Football. The absolute worst games, in my opinion, get featured on Thursday night and Sunday night when no one watches them, unless it's their team and they're doing well. And if your team is doing well, you're going to follow them no matter what. Unless you are a real fan like I am, with my 49ers languishing and suffering the way that they are, but I don't care. I've been a 49er fan since 1981. You're going to follow your team, good or bad. My good buddy Joshua Jackson, longtime Jacksonville Jaguars fan. He follows them good, bad, or indifferent. And it's getting better for him. It's getting better for the Jaguars. If I can say it, it's getting better for, God help me, the New York Jets. But all these other games, they're just putting teams in a hat and pulling them out. And basically matching them up. Now, I know Thursday night you have a lot of television shows on. I've seen it happen. Unless it's unless it's Russell Wilson versus Tom Brady. Again. Unless it's Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady. Hell, let me go back in the day. Unless it's Terry Bradshaw versus Joe Montana. What the hell are you going to watch Thursday nights for? And if a kid's a football fan, he's screwed anyway because Thursday night's a school night. So he can't talk with his friends about what happened in the game because he was sleeping. And what about the players? What about the players? What they have to go through? Even if they're coming off of a win, they don't get a chance to enjoy it because they got to beat each other up in practice again. And then they got to hop on a plane and travel to wherever they need to go. Unless they're home, then they get to sleep in their own bed. But think about it. The team that has to travel for a Thursday night game, unless it's Thanksgiving, is screwed. And it's been that way since that package premiered. Because the teams that have to travel have the most stress put on them. They have to watch themselves in practice. They have to basically get in game mode again. In essence, they don't get a day off until the end of that Thursday night game. Then they get 10 days off. But it still doesn't help them. And besides that, you double the risk for injuries. I mean, what if New Orleans wins on a Sunday afternoon and then they have to play on a Thursday night? They have to play on a Thursday night. Let me make this a good example. They play in New Orleans at the Superdome on a Sunday afternoon. They kick ass there, but then they have to fly from New Orleans to Seattle. I know this is as extreme as it gets, but at the same time, the way they schedule these games, unless it's the Los Angeles Rams and the San Francisco 49ers, and then it's not that bad of a travel. But what kind of stress is put on a team like New Orleans that just played Sunday, and then they have to travel to the Pacific Northwest for a Thursday night game? They're basically booking out of town on Wednesday If the coaches schedule it right, they get a day off, if that, and then they're on a plane to God knows where. And while I'm talking about games that need to be eliminated, these London games need to be eliminated. London needs to be taken out of the equation. Unless it's a preseason game and you put a week behind it where a team can rest. Let's just get back to playing Sunday games and having the Monday night game be the ultimate feature game. Because it's too much. It's too much for a team, and I know they're professionals. I know they're being paid an ass load of money. I know that. I know and realize all of that. But I'm just coming from a point where I started watching football. You watch your teams on Sunday. If they take care of business, they take care of business. If not, they get a week off. Or they get the week to recoup, put it back together, and try again. What happened to that? And if you had a Monday night game, school night be damned. You'll watch it if it's your team. Lord knows I've snuck in and watched a couple of 49er games when they played on Monday night against the Rams, against the Redskins, against the Giants. The NFL is losing an assload of money, and they're losing an assload of fans because of these ridiculous Sunday night matchups and these ridiculous Thursday night matchups. It needs to stop. No one watches Sunday night football, and on top of that, you put Thursday night football on the NFL Network. Here's the problem. What if half the people can't afford an NFL Network? Hell, I'm of the old school thinking that the NFC package should still be on CBS, and the AFC package should be on NBC, and Monday Night Football should be on ABC. But all that changed in 2006 when we found out ABC and ESPN were getting in bed together, which pissed me off, because ESPN took the Monday night package. What the hell is wrong with that picture? And Monday Night Football has sucked ass in terms of production since ESPN took over the reins in 2006. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. It should go back to where it was. The NFL was on CBS with the NFC package, ABC with Monday Night Football, and NBC with the AFC package. It should go back to that and let the networks duke it out. And usually you get a good amount of fans watching all the games anyway. If you go back to that and you show people's favorite teams and then they want to peek in on somebody else, it'll force them to pay attention to what's going on. And believe me, I got a backup to this in terms of the NBA. I'll do that later in the week. Too many networks, too many Chiefs, not enough Indians. NFL television production need to do something about it. Because if you want to permanently lose fans, you don't enhance what you're doing. And that's exactly what's going on right now. Snowman in the morning, back in a flash.
Coming soon, the new wave of hydration and energy drink HIQ. This new product is all natural with no caffeine and gives you a major boost of hydration and energy. No twitching effect or crashing like the old energy drinks. You can visit our website at www.liquidhiq.com or Twitter at HighQ2015 to learn more about this amazing energy drink. What is your level?
Live your life and just let go. If you try, then you will know.
Unforgettables. Nice. This show sponsored by Unforgettables. Unforgettables creates detailed hand-painted baseballs for every baseball fan. Check them out at unforgettables.com.
This is Snowman in the Morning, where true sports talk lives.
Hadouken! That's a spicy meatball!
This is Snowman in the Morning on this 6th day of November, and I am crushed. Why am I crushed, you ask? My 49ers are 0-9. In all the years that I've been a San Francisco 49ers fan, I never thought I would see the day that they would be this bad. But I am going to say that I am very encouraged by the play of C.J. Beathard, although that fight that the 49ers and Cardinals engaged in yesterday, got to do better than that. They signed Jimmy Garoppolo to be their franchise quarterback, and C.J. Beathard gets the start. Well, they know better than I. I am not a coach. I am not a player. The brass in San Francisco seems to know better. But let me give you this. Since Jim Harbaugh departed after the 2014 season, you know the 49ers have lost 23 of 24 games. 23 of 24 games. You know their last win? Against the Los Angeles Rams last year with Colin Kaepernick as quarterback. And that was their second and final win of the year. I'm suffering right now. But I am encouraged with John Lynch in place and Kyle Shanahan in place that they're going to turn it around and get it right and get back to the place where they are supposed to be. It ain't going to be anytime soon, I know that. But the 49ers produced a steal when they gave up only a second-round pick for former Patriots backup quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo. You know something? I've said it before and I'll say it again. I love the direction the 49ers are going in. Absolutely love it. Because now you got some people in the front office in place, although Jed York, I believe, still needs to go. But with John Lynch, defensive mind, as the general manager, Kyle Shanahan as the head coach, and they still have some pieces to get. They got to get an offensive line. They got to get some more receivers outside of Pierre Garçon. And they got to get some more defensive pieces. Yeah, and they have to blend together as a unit. This rebuild is going to take time. It's absolutely going to take time. Am I a patient 49er fan? No, admittedly. But for the red and the gold, I will be. Now, I've been asked all the time, how are you from Chicago and you became a 49er fan? That's easy. His name's Joe Montana. The day he found Dwight Clark in the back of the end zone for the winning touchdown in the NFC Championship, 1981 was the year, I was sold for life. And then Steve Young came in behind him and kept the jam session going. I'll never forget the comparison that a writer once, I can't remember his name right now, that a writer made between Joe Montana and Steve Young. It went something like this. With Joe Montana, you're running a symphony. With Steve Young, you're running a jam session. They both produce results, and they both produce Super Bowl victories. Only Montana's got 4 of them, and Young has 1. And I thought their quarterback of the future would be Jeff Garcia, but then Jeff Garcia bolted for Cleveland. That shows you where his mind was. But then this recent stretch after Jim Harbaugh leaves, and they finish an 8-8 season. Jim Tom Sula, 5-11. Chip Kelly, 2-14. And now Kyle Shanahan in his first year, 0-9. You know, it just begs the question, are they going to let Kyle Shanahan go after this miserable, miserable season? I think the answer is no. In fairness, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan came into and inherited a complete mess of a franchise. And I think they know that. But some of the draft picks that they had, Solomon Thomas, Reuben Foster, few others, it got me excited with the direction they're going in, which is up. And I'll say it again, it's going to take a while. But I got some encouragement yesterday watching Beathard throw for 270 yards. Although I miss the fact that the 49ers had a running game once upon a time. You know, John Gruden described it best on a Monday night game against the Bears, a sinister mindset. Offensively, that's what's missing for San Francisco, a sinister mindset. I want them to draft some offensive linemen and get some people in there that want to punish the opposition. Because you see it in spurts, you see it in flashes. You see it in pieces. You don't see the whole sinister mindset carry throughout the game. They've been in some games this year. Indianapolis, Washington, the Rams, to name a few. They've been in some games. So there's no doubt in my mind the trending is up for San Francisco. And I will say this, when they get that first win, it's going to take a weight off of their back. And I know they've been the butt of everybody's jokes this year. Who's going to get their first win, Cleveland or San Francisco? Who's going to get the number 1 draft pick, Cleveland or San Francisco? You know what? These teams are going in 2 different directions, even though both of them are 0 for the season. Look at the Cleveland Browns. They're supposed to get a trade done for A.J. McCarron. Yeah, what did Cleveland do? They forgot to send in the paperwork. Oops! San Francisco snatched Jimmy Garoppolo for only a 2nd-round pick. That's a team that's being aggressive and wants to build for the future. Now, I just hope the 49ers show the class and the smarts that they had in the past and build around Garoppolo and Beathard. If Beathard's your guy right now, if you think Beathard can lead them to the win, give him the ball. If you think it's Garoppolo, the man you traded for to be your franchise quarterback, give him the ball. I'm saying that the 49ers should give Garoppolo the ball. Well, once upon a time, I called for C.J. Beathard to get the ball because Brian Hoyer wasn't doing a damn thing. Hoyer almost led us to a win on a Thursday night game against the Rams. I know that. 300-plus yards. But there are so many near misses in this 49ers season of 0-9. Something has got to give in the Niner Empire. And with this recent acquisition of Jimmy Garoppolo, I hope that they give him the keys. He meaning Garoppolo. Let him learn the system now. Get him in the system. Let him learn it. Let him run it. Let him feel it out. And then they start putting some weapons with him. The offensive line needs to be rebuilt. The running game needs to resurface. You know, you're not going to win much games if you're only rushing for 53 yards as a team. I like the trend that San Francisco is beginning to place. They're going up. I love it, and I hope it stays that way. Now I just want them to win. college football top 25 action, and I got some words for Ohio State. There's a few times I'm going to talk about college football this week. After the break's going to be one of them. Snowman in the morning, back in the deuce.
Has your fantasy season ever come to a complete halt due to your top picks going down? Now there is a solution for that. RotoSurance is your go-to fantasy sports insurance provider. Get 100% of your money back if your top players go down. Head over to www.rotosurance.com and use the promo code 3andOutRadio to get 20% off your plan today. Again, www.rotosurance.com. Promo code 3andOutRadio.
At Cleaver Supplements, we have natural supplements such as our Super Fat Burner, our Carnitine Stack, the famous Swole Serum for your workouts, and much more. Visit cleaversupplements.com for all information. Our team is excited to provide you with an impeccable online shopping experience and remain available to assist at any time. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to contact us via telephone or email, and one of our experienced team members will get back to you. Cleaver Supplements, pure supplements for when genetics are just not enough.
Carolina Security Consultants is your residential security consultants leader. Our security assessment is custom tailored for each project. Give Danny a call, 336-312-5326. Make sure to tell them 3 and Out sent you.
This is Snowman in the Morning, where true sports talk lives.
Next!
Excuse me, bitch!
Are you kidding me?
What?
To the good folks who listen to Radio AFS, where you can hear this show syndicated, they got some great shows on that network, including Morning Cup of Sports, which precedes us, Stay Out of My Crease on Tuesday nights and replay Wednesday nights on Arena Sportsnet, the Political BS Podcast, and y'all need to listen to those shows on Radio AFS, the Political BS Podcast, and others. Big T's Sports Revival, all kinds of great stuff. Go to radioafs.com, check out their schedule, and also go to 3andoutradio.com. That's THR, the number 3, and outradio.com. Check out their programming schedule as well. And I want to thank 3 and Out Radio, Radio AFS, Notoriety Sports Network, as well as my team at Arena Sportsnet for syndicating Snowman in the Morning, because we're going to build something huge with this show. Speaking of huge, Ohio State is finito, done, kaputski, after allowing 55 points to the Iowa Hawkeyes. And you could tell it was going to be that kind of day for JT Barrett and company when Barrett's first pass was picked off and returned for a touchdown. I listened to part of Paul Keels' call as the better half and I were dropping off our son at Granny's for a little while. But you could tell it was going to be that kind of day when the first pass of JT Barrett was picked off and returned for a touchdown. Well, thanks for playing, Ohio State, but your playoff chances are nil. They lost to Oklahoma earlier in the year, and now this embarrassing loss. And I say it's embarrassing because you just revived yourselves, Ohio State, with a win against Penn State, a comeback win against Penn State, 39-38. And then you you get put in the top 4, and then you go lay an egg in Iowa City in front of 70,000 fans at Kinnick Stadium. And I've been in that place, and it gets really, really loud. So what's it say about Ohio State? What does this kind of loss say about Ohio State's character? Well, one, to me, it says a couple things. It says, one, they're out of the playoff picture. 2, the only way they get back in is if they run the table and win the Big Ten championship. Big Ten championship game in Indianapolis. But even that doesn't guarantee you a spot in the playoffs. Penn State, hello. But Ohio State is finished. A 2-loss team does not make the college football playoff. Speaking of college football playoff, Oklahoma may have just sealed not only their place in the playoff with the win at Oklahoma State in a 62-52 shootout win. And I was talking to my friend Connor Klingon, the voice of the St. Joseph Chargers, on Arena Sportsnet Chicago. He asked me, he said, Snowman, give me a score for the Bedlam game. What do you got? I said 61-58. It would have been Baylor TCU from 4 years ago. And it wound up 62-52. I wasn't that far off because it's Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. It's Mason Rudolph and Baker Mayfield. And both of them may get invited to New York for the Heisman ceremony. More on that a little bit later. But Oklahoma has sealed their spot in the playoff. Clemson has sealed their spot in the playoff. And I thought Clemson would be primed for another upset in taking on North Carolina State. Well, I was proven wrong with that. Clemson took care of business. They stay in the rankings. Notre Dame took care of business, man. How about the Fighting Irish? But the Fighting Irish have a test coming this week to keep their number 3 spot. They got to go through a very young, athletic, and determined Miami ball club, and they have to do it in South Florida. I don't know. I got all the confidence in the world in Brian Kelly, and kudos to Brian Kelly and his bunch. After the loss to Georgia, they have not lost. After the loss of Georgia and all the questions about if he's back on the hot seat, because he's been on the hot seat all year. He needed to produce. He and his team needed to produce a season like this, where they're beyond relevant. They're in the playoff picture. They got the number 3 spot right now, depending on what comes out on Tuesday. And believe me, I'm going to break down the college football playoff picture. And then there's the top 2 teams, Georgia and Alabama. I never thought in all my years of watching college football in the 2010s, with Alabama being so dominant, that they would have a 2 by their name and not a 1. But I told you guys, LSU would give them a struggle. South Carolina did the same for Georgia. Makes you wonder if Alabama and Georgia will flip-flop. Alabama takes 1, Georgia takes 2. I don't think that'll happen because both teams won. But these Georgia Bulldogs are barking. They got a 1-point win at Notre Dame. They got a 3-point win at home against South Carolina. Their only challenge, they meaning Georgia, remaining this year is going to be Alabama. And that'll be December 2nd at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. And of course, I'm talking SEC championship. What happens if the Dogs run the table and beat Alabama? Do the Dogs maintain the number 1, not just the number 1 seed in the playoffs, but the number 1 ranking? And here's a question I love posing. Everybody else loves posing it too. There is an undefeated team coming into this week that's ranked 18th right now, and that number may rise. And I had a chance to see them play. That team is the University of Central Florida Knights. This team can put up some points, and they can play some defense. They played the daylights out of offense and defense when they played against Cincinnati. And I think the bias is real against UCF when a team from a lower conference like the American Conference won't get a sniff of the top 4. It happened to Western Michigan when they ran the table and beat everybody in front of them. And it's probably going to wind up happening to UCF again. You know, the folks want to keep the Power 5 schools at the top of the rankings, and yet here's UCF, undefeated, and not a sniff of the top 4. Hell, not even a sniff of not even a sniff of the top bowl picture, and I hope that changes. I'm praying that UCF runs the table and somehow crashes the party. Now, that would require Georgia, Alabama, Clemson, and Notre Dame to continue playing the way they're playing. And you know something? I didn't want to get into this until Wednesday, but I have the feeling with the way Oklahoma won, either Clemson or Notre Dame may fall out of the top 4. We can only speculate. We can only speculate. And we'll see what happens Tuesday night. Now it's time for our question of the day presented by Cleaver Supplements. Pure supplements for when genetics are just not enough. Cleaver Supplements, a proud sponsor of Snowman in the Morning. Go to KLIEWER supplements.com. Cleaver Supplements. Pure supplements for when genetics are just not enough. And endorsed by the Snowman. It's helped me with my weight loss. It's helped me get back in shape. I'm not all the way there yet. But you want to check out their products with your workouts. You want to check out their products with, you know, just redoing your lifestyle. That's cleaversupplements.com. Here's the question. What will happen first? A 2-loss team getting into the playoffs or an expansion of the playoffs to 8 teams? This is my only gripe about the playoff system. It should have started with 8 teams. And I will pose this question again, and I will continue to pose it. How come Division 1 AA, Division 2, and Division 3 for football can put a playoff system together with 32 teams, have campuses hosting games, and the boys at the top tier took so long to put that in place? What do you guys think? What will happen first? A 2-loss team making the playoffs or an expansion to 8 teams in the playoff system? That's tough. Because the original question that Shane, one of my wonderful producers, gave me, will a 1-loss team make the playoff? That's already happened. That has already happened. And that 1-loss playoff team happened last year, Ohio State. And they got crowned by Clemson in Atlanta. So I think it'll be an expansion to 8 teams in the playoff picture before we see a 2-loss team get into the playoffs. So again, my question, the question of the day presented by Cleaver Supplements, what will happen first? A 2-loss playoff team getting into the playoff, a 2-loss playoff team, or an expansion to 8 in the playoff system? Should have started at 8 in the first place. I'm sorry, people think I'm crazy, but it should have started at 8. But I'm just glad there's a playoff system in place. Now you got to do right by it and expand it. I think that'll happen first. Got a spoken word for you after the break.
Carolina Security Consultants is your residential security consultants leader. Our security assessment is custom tailored for each project. Give Danny a call, 336-312-5326. Make sure to tell them 3 and Out sent you.
Hey y'all, Snowman here. Y'all have heard me talk about my weight problem so many times, and I've been battling the bulge for the better part of 10 years. But now I finally got some help. Cleaver Supplements has written to the rescue with their great and natural products and their great apparel for when I go work out, when I go walking, when I go lifting weights, or whatever. Cleaver Supplements is the place to go. Visit Cleaver, K-L-I-E-W-E-R, supplements.com and get your supply today. And tell them Snowman sent you.
Unforgettables. Nice. This show is sponsored by Unforgettables. Unforgettables creates detailed hand-painted baseballs for every baseball fan. Check them out at unforgettables.com.
Coming soon, the new wave of hydration and energy drink HIQ. This new product is all natural with no caffeine and gives you a major boost of hydration and energy. No twitching effect or crashing like the old energy drinks. You can visit our website at www.liquidhiq.com or Twitter at HiQ2015 to learn more about this amazing energy drink. What is your level?
Live your life and just let go. If you try, then you will know.
Has your fantasy season ever come to a complete halt due to your top picks going down? Now there is a solution for that. RotoSurance is your go-to fantasy sports insurance provider. Get 100% of your money back if your top players go down. Head over to www.rotosurance.com and use the promo code 3andOutRadio to get 20% off your plan today. Again, www.rotosurance.com. Promo code 3andOutRadio.
This is Snowman in the Morning, where true sports talk lives.
Next! What? Are you kidding me? Need a little excitement?
You know what?
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
Man, this has been a great show. Sorry couldn't have any guests on, but still trying to get some technological things together. We are presented by Cleaver Supplements, pure supplements for when genetics are just not enough. Thank you to them for sponsoring the show. And as always, I like to close with a positive thought, and it's pretty simple. Don't get caught up in revenge, because it will eat you alive. I am a testament to that. When I spoke of the people that did wrong by me, all I wanted was to get even with them. And trust me, it's a fight every day, and part of me still wants to. But you can't let it rule your everyday decision making. When the time comes for you to get even with your version of the Butthurt Brigade, it will happen. And I know it'll happen. I know it'll happen for me. But I got an empire to build. I got a show to do. I got people to talk to. I have sales to do. Got money to make. And I got a family to support. I can't get caught up in people, and what they did wrong. It will just set me back. And admittedly, I let them. Not anymore. Not anymore. I'm laying those swords down, and I'm not picking them up unless I have to. Let the revenge come to you. Don't go after it, because if you go after it, you'll come up empty. Lord knows I've tried. And that is all I got for you on this Monday. I'll be back tomorrow, talk a little NBA, maybe a little college basketball, and a few other things and fun stories mixed in. You've been listening to Snowman in the Morning, presented by Cleaver Supplements. You can hear us on Arena Sportsnet, Radio AFS, 3 and Out Radio, and the Notoriety Sports Network. And thanks to everybody that tuned us in. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Snowman out.